today I want to show you something really cool. Who of you did hear about container queries already? Okay, some of you. And who's already using it in production? Okay, just one hand. That's awesome. It's like the same thing I did on Twitter, or X, let's call it X. I did a short poll, and like even 50% of the people never heard of container queries. And I thought it was a good chance to bring some enlightenment to container queries and show, hey, what's the power of container queries and why do we need that? We already have in CSS media queries. So let me show you. Here on the left, I have my editor, and on the right, you will see some testimonials. These are all real testimonials. So as you can see, we have a few here from the attendees. And when we look here inside, it's just a simple grid layout of 2 columns. And when we move it here down, you will see it's just one single grid column. And you will see we have grid calls 1. And on small screens, when we go here on the side, we will see that's grid calls 2. So that's actually everything it. And when we make it bigger, we will see, yeah, it's working. If you never worked with Blade, we have here for each component that's just rendering the same testimonial just with different data all the time. So we have here, I don't know, maybe 12 testimonials, something like that. And the cool part is when we want to make like the first testimonial stand out, we want to make a different styling. How can we actually do it? So with Tailwind, we can do something like call span full. When we do that, but all the items get the full span. How we can actually make that only the first one gets? So it's actually pretty easy. We can just grab the first column and say first selector, and only the first column gets full span. And the nice part is, with container queries, we can make it now style the first item differently, even with the same component. So let me show you. Traditionally, you would do something like a featured flag. And if you're used with Blade to work, you know that we have like the loop variable inside the for each block. And we can say, hey, this is the first one. Let's pass a true value through it. And each other item will get a false value. And then we can go inside here. Let's close this first. And we can maybe add a new prop and say, hey, that's false. And then we can do some if-else stuff like that, and then style the first element different like the other one. Maybe some people already used to it. But we can do it so much easier with container queries. So let me show you. First of all, we have to activate like the container query. We have to say which element is actually surrounded through it. So we have this new property that's called add container. And you will see here that's already doing a different CSS property. You're not used to it. It's called container type, and it's setting to inline size. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to remember. Just remember add container, and that's all you need. And the nice part is when we go now here, and everything that's got to do with container queries is now prefixed with an add symbol. So we can do something like add on large screens. So these are already the predefined values from Tailwind, but you can change it for your project as you need. And it will say when the minimum width of 32 rams are reached, this styling will apply. And we can try it. So let's go with a large screen to make the text bigger. So when we save that, you will see the text of Vishal got bigger, but it's the same element like this from Sasha or Stefan. So let's see what's actually happening here. When we go inside here, we will see we have here the container class, and it's doing only the container type inline size. That's great. And when we go here inside the block quote, you will see that we have the add LG element. And the nice part is this is now only working for this element. When we go now downstairs to this element, you will see it's not applied here. We have the CSS query is not working. And that's really cool. And how is this actually working in CSS? Let me show you. When I dive here into the CSS file, you will see that's everything that's required, that it's working. We have just a new query that's called add container. It's working the same like the media queries as you are seeing here down on line 786. We just define a minimum width. And now with this, voila, we have like the magic. If the container gets bigger, this one is applied. If it gets smaller, it's not applied. So let me show you here. When I drag this now to make it smaller, you will see Vishal, his testimonial is small. When it gets now bigger, you will see the text is big as well. And we can do it with everything. We can make the font semi-bold. So let's go with that. So it's now bold. We can make the tracking more tight. So the text is better visible. So it's more tight. And we can add maybe more padding to it, like P12. And maybe make more margin here. Let's say we want on edgy greens, MT12, and so on, so on. And the nice part is we have even an image here and say only on big screens we want to show this image. So yes, you can see now it's a complete custom design, you can say, but we are working with the same component. And that's really cool part, because with container queries, it's no longer bound on the size of your browser. Because with media queries, you always had to work with the size of the complete browser. But with container queries, you can actually go down to one single element, and how much space this element has, it will change its behavior. So when we go small again, you will see it's a small treatment, and big again, it's big. And the nice part is we can just maybe use the odd syntax here and say every odd one should get big. So Stefan, his testimonial is also getting big as well. And that's like all the magic there's currently around for container queries. And yeah, that's my first example. So far, any questions? Okay, no questions, then everything is answered. That's great. Let me show you here. Do you know the Can I Use page, everyone here? Yeah, I think everyone that's working with front end knows that. And as you can see, the container queries, they're actually adopted pretty good. All the evergreen browsers are already using it, except Internet Explorer, but I hope you don't have to support Internet Explorer, so don't worry. As you can see here, everything is green. Even Safari has it on mobile, even on desktop. And when I look at the usage, you will see that like on the desktop Safari, there's only 0.48%. And on mobile, it's a bit more. It's at nearly 2%. That's quite a bit of people that are still running on an old browser. But you have to test it on your own analytics and check if even people are using an old browser like iOS 15.6 or something like that. And if actually everyone is using the newer versions, then you can just go with container queries. Well, that's like my recommendation, because now over a half year ago, it's already released. All the major browsers are supporting it, and so you can use it for your own projects. Yeah. Okay. Do you have so far any questions? Great. Because this wouldn't be the Laravel meetup if I wouldn't show you something Laravel related as well, not only the front end. Because let's do this first again. And now I want to show you something. What happens when I want to override like CSS attributes? Like I want to make the background of the testimonials, I want to make them gray. When I do new BG gray 50, I'm not sure. Well, you can't see anything because it's not applied even on this screen. And when I do maybe some BG red 50, you will see, the testimonial got red. So what's actually happening behind the scenes? Because when you look here inside the component, I make it a bit smaller, you will see that the attributes back here, we use the class, and we have like the default attributes already defined here, like the class names. We have rounded 2XL and BG white. And that's what you have to remember. And when we look now here inside, you will see that you have BG white and BG red applied. So the both attributes. And when you look here downwards, you will see that's actually a coincidence that the BG red one is applied, because it's in the selector in front. When we go back and add BG gray, you will see what's happening. Actually now, yeah, when we go down here, you will see actually now BG white is applied, as you can see, and BG gray is not applied. And that's like a problem we have to solve. And I'm so glad that you have a package for that, and we don't have to work with if, else, stuff like that. And yeah, before, if you didn't know, CSS is always applied like what's coming last in the CSS file is always stronger. So the BG gray is like on 655, and here you can see 4 lines later BG white is, and that's the reason why it's applied. But there's even a trick to do that. Instead of using class, we can use the Tailwind Merge here. And when I save now, you will see what's happening. You see the BG white is gone here. Maybe I go back one time, save it. You will see we have here BG white, as you can see, and BG gray. But when I go to merge it, you will see the background white is gone. Like all the default values are gone, and only the passed in values are valid now. And the same thing we can do for everything. When you look here, we have the rounded 2XL. We can say, hey, for this component, I just want rounded small. And when we go with that, you will see it's gone and it's applied to the end of it. So rounded SM comes, after comes BG gray. And that's like fixing like the issues when we have different classes that apply the same thing, like shadow or background color. And you can use it with everything. You can use it even with SM stuff. So if I want to remove something, you can go here on SM is also white. And so this everything works even with media queries or container queries. So you can always overwrite your default values that you have. And the cool part is this package is written by the one and only Sandro. And I'm honored that he is here. So let's give a big shout out to Sandro for this awesome package. It's easily to install. I think I showed you everything. And the cool part is, if you don't use Blade, you can even use this for PHP as well, because Sandro even has a, well, that's like the base package, I think. And the other one is working on it, so extending it. And if you just use PHP, you can even use it with PHP plain only. And that's so cool that we have it here. Okay. Do we have so far any questions to this package? Yeah, great. Let's move on. One more thing, and then I'm finished for today. I want to show you the one and only. If you don't know him, you have to get know him. That's Sam Selikoff. He's like the best man ever. And my talk is inspired by him because he showed me like all the new cool techniques that are possible with CSS. And you have to watch this. So I recommend it. Take a screenshot, because like in this 10 minutes, I think I learned more in Tailwind than I did it like in 1 year before, something like that. It's crazy how much content he's providing just in a short video like of 8 minutes. It's so cool. And I got inspired. My talk is inspired actually from this video. And yeah, that's all I got today for you. That's my Twitter handle on X. So if you liked it, you can follow me. I will share some cool stuff that I find always, and always about the meetup and stuff. And I hope you could learn 1 or 2 things. And yeah, let's have a beer together. Thank you for your time.